Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. Today we're going to be going through some of the recent Anthem concepts and assets from bioware. Some of these are items that are already in the game, and some of them are going to be in the future updates, such as the new armor pieces, a new javelin, and I will also try to timestamp below to guide you guys to each section. So with that said, let us begin. So first we'll be looking at the environmental design, and in this stage I am very fortunate to be able to witness the skills of this artist. When the game was codenamed Dylan, BioWare tasked its concept designers and in-house artists to create something that follows the theme of medieval meets advanced technology. It was more like Dragon Age meets Mass Effect, and in this situation they wanted to create a way where these two mediums can coexist with each other in the same space and still hold their own identity. What we received was a world where the space and the atmosphere is technologically advanced, but the structures are medieval and a little bit of technology in there as well. You have the shapers, which are advanced, and then you have the humans, which are a little bit behind. And with a javelin, you have them becoming the middle ground between medieval times and, of course, with the advanced technology. That's how you have the lancers. Now, in human structures that predated the Legion of Dawn or the existence of the shapers, you will notice that there is hardly any form of advanced technology incorporated to their design. However, when you examine every human structure after those events, you will see and notice that the shaper tech is at the core of this design. And I'm glad that they actually paid attention to that in terms of the story of the game. Now, the buildings are not the only thing that follows the same design language. You will also notice that the natural world uses the same thing, but instead of a big separation between advanced technology and ancient design, the nature is more of a blend of both instead of separating each other, thus creating a Pandora feel. First, we look at the boss room with the snowy design. Then we move on to the areas that seems to be more of a mixture of multiple environments. When you start moving into human settlements in different regions and forts, you will start seeing some elven inspired structures, the city of Anthem, and then you will see some Arabian and African designs as well. In some cases, Norse designs also exist, so you can see how they have picked up different styles and different inspirations from different cultures and regions around the real world. With some of these areas, chances are you have seen them before. You will see the differences that the lighting also makes when it comes to the underwater scenes, and of course the shaper runs as well. Now here is a spoiler alert. What you see right here is the Scar faction setting up and activating a shaper engine as it lights up the sky. So this is one of those things that you will see in the upcoming Act 2 of Anthem. In terms of creature design though, you will also see that Avatar inspired feel to it, or that John Carter inspired feel. This is where you can still see some of that bioware that we all know and loved. Not this modern age, of course, this is still bioware, but a lot of things have changed over the past few years. Patrick Carlson is one of the artists involved in Anthem's creature design. They did a perfect job, an amazing job in bringing the creatures that would fit into this world. So kudos to those guys on that. Now, in terms of technology, javelins, and of course, a lot of mech in this world, you will be seeing a lot of potential new javelins and armor pieces for the existing ones. But before we get to those, we have to look at the work that went into each design. Considering that each javelin has a series of moving parts, this makes it a very challenging job to create and animate every single piece. And we can imagine the thought of items being out of place when characters move around, so it is very important that they actually pay attention to this kind of things. And I'm sure a lot of us have also seen bugs related to these items in the game. We also have the monitor, which was a major part of the first arc in Anthem. Here, he is depicted as human, but obviously a lot of things have changed over the course of that development. As most of us have seen in the lore entries regarding the Dominion, the lore entry stated that the Dominion is being ruled by an Orgot, which means that will conflict against the design of the human inside that. However, these are still concepts, and still there is a possibility that the Monitor is not the real leader of the Dominion. So we could have a really interesting concept in our hands right here. The Sentinel faction also have their own design of suits, and that is one of the things that you will see here as we continue to unlock them later on in the game, and a lot of these things could be tied to a faction reputation. This is something that I am assuming will be available after reaching a certain rank with the Sentinel. In terms of weapons, some of these are familiar with most players, but there are more which are set to be released in future DLCs. Some of these designs are more impressive than the others, and I had hoped that these were in the initial release instead of the ones that we got right now. BioWare allowing the publishing of this means that these assets have been added in an upcoming DLC, or they are basically trashing them, which I doubt it. You will notice the effects in the designs of the Dominion faction-based weapons, and of course the Jarra's Wrath, which is a Dominion weapon. These items labeled by faction also means that a lot of them could be dropping from the factions or the faction-specific strongholds, so that is a really cool thing to look forward to. Right here you will also notice some of the weapons that the Sentinels are holding. You will see a beam rifle, and of course a second Sentinel is holding a sword. The Sentinel behind that is wearing what seems to be like some black robes upon the Javelin. All this hints at the future DLC content and things that we will be able to do in terms of customization and just upgrading your Javelin in general, or getting a new Javelin. And I hope that they follow through with this concept and these designs. And the fact that the studio head greenlit this concept also means that they are either done with it, like I said earlier, or they already have it locked for a content release. Usually companies always want to wait to make sure that their concepts are not inspiring others too much. The fact that a lot of these are already in the game also tells us that a lot of these new items are coming, and BioWare already confirmed that Jarra's Wrath is coming to the game as well. Overall, BioWare have something great in their hands, but the launch of the game is what they had struggled with. Now it's just a matter of fixing things, making sure the game is stable, and then executing the way it's supposed to, when, how, and where it ties in with the game. We have new weapons, new locations, new javelins, new armor pieces, new events, and of course multiple expansions of the world and the story of Anthem. I just hope that BioWare stays strong even amidst all the criticism, and they keep their head straight and continue to do what they're supposed to do. Strong alone, stronger together. Feel free to share your thoughts about this down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. It's DS signing out. I'll see you in the next one.